Ja Morant's name has become one of the most polarizing topics in the NBA, not just for his on-court talent, but for the chaos surrounding him off the floor. Former NBA star Kenyon Martin didn't hold back on Gil's arena, calling out Ja's father, Tee Morant, for being part of the problem. Martin argued that Tee's constant sideline antics and celebrity dad behavior have blurred the line between being a parent and being part of Ja's entourage. According to Kmart, that lack of structure has directly fueled Ja Morant's immaturity, the repeated suspensions, and the sharp decline in his NBA trade value. The criticism cuts deep because it's not coming from outsiders. It's coming from former players who understand the culture and pressure of being in the league. Martin's point is simple. Ja doesn't need another fan in his corner. He needs a father willing to tell him no. With Ja Morant's reputation hanging by a thread and his brand taking massive hits after the gun incidents and league suspensions, the role of his family has become a public talking point. Across social media, NBA fans, insiders, and analysts are debating whether Tee Morant's behavior is helping or hurting his son's future. Between Kenyon Martin's tough words and Kevin Durant's viral jab, enjoy your last week in Memphis. The conversation around Ja Morant, Tee Morant, and the Memphis Grizzlies has become one of the most heated NBA storylines of the season. In a resurfaced clip that's gone viral across NBA circles, Chris Paul's father delivered advice that now feels tailor-made for Tee Morant. During an old interview, Chris Paul Sr. broke down what it truly means to be an NBA parent, and his message was simple. Money doesn't change the job of a father. He explained that no matter how rich or famous your son becomes, a dad's responsibility is to lead, guide, and correct him, not become part of his fan club. Chris Paul Sr. recalled how even when Chris started making millions, he and his wife refused to let money redefine their relationship. They stayed grounded, living modestly, and reminding Chris that respect and discipline don't come with a paycheck. That perspective is now being contrasted sharply with Tee Morant's public persona, a father who's often seen courtside, interacting with players, and sometimes drawing more attention than his all-star son. NBA fans have been quick to connect the dots, pointing out how Chris Paul's grounded upbringing helped him sustain a long, drama-free career, while Ja Morant's path has been marked by controversy, suspensions, and questions about leadership. The clip serves as a stark reminder that humility, structure, and family discipline are worth more than fame or money. In today's NBA culture, where every move becomes a headline, the wisdom of Chris Paul's father stands as the blueprint for what Tee Morant's role should be in guiding Ja back on track. Tensions flared courtside when Kevin Durant and Tee Morant exchanged words during the Grizzlies game, and Durant's comment, "Enjoy your last week in Memphis," instantly lit up NBA Twitter. The jab wasn't just trash talk. Fans took it as a shot at Ja Morant's uncertain future with the Memphis Grizzlies, whose patience seems to be wearing thin. The moment went viral, becoming yet another headline in what's become an ongoing saga surrounding Ja's image, his father's influence, and the team's locker room culture. The host points out that Tee Morant's interactions with players once came off as charismatic and lighthearted, almost part of the entertainment. But over time, those same antics, constant camera appearances, sideline celebrations, and that infamous confrontation with Shannon Sharpe have shifted public perception. What was once seen as proud father energy is now viewed by many as performative and distracting, especially while Ja's career balance hangs in the air. The Kevin Durant moment symbolizes that change in tone. When NBA stars start taking verbal shots at your dad, it says something about how the league views the situation. Fans and analysts are now openly debating whether Tee Morant has crossed from supportive parent to brand liability. Between Durant's remark, Ja's struggles, and Memphis's rocky season, this exchange feels like more than just trash talk. It's a warning shot about the direction of Ja Morant's career and how public perception can shift in an instant. Kenyon Martin didn't sugarcoat it. He called out Tee Morant for acting more like Ja's homeboy than his father. On Gil's Arena, Martin made it clear that this kind of dynamic breeds chaos, not growth. He argued that Tee's overly friendly buddy-buddy approach has stripped away the structure and accountability Ja Morant desperately needs at this point in his career. In Martin's words, a father isn't supposed to be part of the entourage. He's supposed to be the anchor when fame starts pulling you off course. The conversation dug into what's missing: tough love, real guidance, the kind of parenting that sets boundaries even when your son is a multimillionaire superstar. Martin and the panel highlighted that without those limits, the people around Ja, including family, end up enabling the behavior that's cost him suspensions, endorsements, and credibility across the league. It's a message that resonates far beyond the Morants. In today's NBA culture, where young stars are treated like brands before they're fully grown men, the role of parents becomes even more crucial. Kenyon Martin's blunt take is that Tee Morant stopped being the voice of reason and started being part of the noise. And until that changes, Ja Morant's immense talent might keep being overshadowed by headlines, controversy, and the company he keeps. The host doubled down on Kenyon Martin's message, stressing that it's time for Tee Morant and Ja's mother to step back into their true parental roles before Ja's story turns from cautionary tale to tragedy. He argued that Ja doesn't need more friends or hype men. He needs parents willing to say the hard things and pull him out of the echo chamber of fame. The host warned that unless Tee reestablishes authority and discipline in his son's life, Ja's image, career, and finances could crumble faster than anyone expects. He pointed out the real cost of Ja's behavior: the lost endorsements, the missed All-NBA selections, the suspension money gone, and the growing skepticism about whether teams will ever trust him with a long-term max contract again. The Memphis Grizzlies' patience isn't infinite, and the NBA's spotlight is ruthless when a player stops producing clean headlines. By the end of the video, the message was clear. Ja Morant's brand, once built on hard work, swagger, and highlight reel athleticism, is hanging by a thread. Every move from here on out matters. His family can either help him rebuild or stand by while his potential fades away. The host closed by saying that strong parenting, accountability, and humility are the only things that can save Ja Morant's career and restore the legacy he seemed destined to create.